So now we are on Penelope tests Odysseus. So this is 651. So just the little description under the title Penelope tests Odysseus. After 20 years of waiting for Odysseus, Penelope hesitates to acknowledge the stranger as her husband. She tests him with a secret only Odysseus could know. Um, so again, this is like it's been 20 years. You want to hope that this is actually your husband, but who knows? Like it could be someone else who's just a really good fighter that the gods have sent her, um, who's pretending to be Odysseus. So she just really wants to double check. Um, so she has a test. So this is little, and I think it's really funny. So I'm not even really going to read too much of it because I could really summarize it in like two sentences. Um, so actually, if you look on page 652, um, then it says make up his. It's like line 1407. Make up his bed for. So this is Penelope talking. Make up his bed for him, Euryclea. Place it outside the bedchamber my lord built with his own hands. Pile the big bed with fleeces, rugs, and sheets of purest linen. With this, she tried him to the breaking point, and he turned on her in a flash, raging. Woman, by heaven, you stung me now. Who dared to move my bed? No builder had the skill for that, unless a god came down to turn the trick. No mortal in his best days could budge it with a crowbar. There is our pact and pledge, our secret sign, built into that bed, my handiwork and no one else's. An old trunk of olive grew like a pillar on the building plot, and I laid out our bedroom round that tree, lined up the stone walls, built the walls and roof, gave it a doorway and smooth-fitting doors. Then I lopped off the silvery leaves and branches, hewed and shaped that stump from the roots up into a bedpost, drilled it, let it serve as a model for the rest. I planed them all, inlaid them with silver, gold, and ivory, and stretched a bed between, a pliant web of oxhide thongs dyed crimson. There's our sign. I know no more. Could someone else have sewn that trunk and dragged the frame away? Or sawn that trunk? Their secret, as she heard it told, her knees grew tremulous and weak. Her heart failed her. With our eyes brimming tears, she ran to him, throwing her arms round his neck and kissed him. Um, but she knew it was him. So um, I can summarize this in two sentences. So Penelope says it tells is testing him because again, like he describes that he nobody else knows this except for him and her. He did it as like a special secret, a special pact between the two of them. That there was this giant tree, and that was like the starting point of their home. And Odysseus built it all. He's a pretty handy guy, right? So he can basically do everything. Um, he crafted it out of the tree that's in the ground. So there's no way to move the bed unless you saw through the whole trunk of a tree, and like not like a little one, but like a giant tree. So if Odysseus and Penelope are the only two people that know that. So if it was anybody else but Odysseus, if she said, "Oh yeah, we moved the bed around, the bed chamber is a little different, so um, just we'll make you your bed in a different spot." And then if anybody else was there, they'd be like, "Oh, sure, whatever. You move beds all the time." But Odysseus would be the only one that would know that that wasn't possible. Um, so this is basically what you have to write on your notes here on Penelope tests Odysseus. I'll even do it for you because I just think it's really funny. So you can say, um, Penelope, make him a bed in a different spot. Odysseus then says, "Who moved my bed?" And he's kind of upset. And then Penelope says, "It is you." The end. So it's really kind of a funny conclusion to us, but I guess for in the Greek times it would have been like a really romantic gesture of like all of the care he put in. I mean, he put a lot of precious metals into this bed in this tree, so I guess it's really romantic. But it just This seems kind of funny. So the interesting thing is that that's the last thing that we get in this story. So if you look at postscript on page 653, um, the following morning, Odysseus and Telemachus set out for the country estate of Laertes, Odysseus' father. So he goes to see them. Their happy reunion is interrupted by the arrival of angry relatives of the slain suitors armed for battle. Athena appears and commands them to make peace. So ends the Odyssey, with Odysseus restored to his family and to his kingdom. So there was almost one more giant battle, but Odysseus' father and he are reunited. So again, another loved one in his life that he gets to see again after 20 years. And then they're almost gonna battle, and then Athena comes one more time to intervene and to save Odysseus from destruction. And then they all go home, and then Odysseus is back to being king of Ithaca. And he never says anything about the goddesses that he encountered on his journey to Penelope, because he feels they weren't worth mentioning. Um, and there we go, the end of the Odyssey. So you can take your notes on Odysseus' revenge here on your digital note chart. So kind of just go through, first this happened, then this, then this, then this. Again, kind of going through what I just described and what we read through. And then what I didn't read, make sure you read, and so that you know how it ended. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about Odysseus and Penelope's characters a little bit later, but not on this video. So stay tuned for in your assignments for another assignment for you to record yourself talking on a Flipgrid video to respond to a question. And then I'm also going to have something up soon about getting ready for the test. So the Odyssey, the end.